What up, y'all? I'm Rajay,
And I'm Shy, and welcome to the RXS
the
podcast.
podcast where we provide inspiration, motivation, and information to the music community. Gang.
Yeah. So, babe,
Yay!
what are we talking about today?
I don't know, but we got a special guest that's going to help us figure it out. Let's go. So, I have my uncle here. Some of y'all know that he's actually my blood uncle. Some of y'all don't, because all the homies call him Uncle Ty. What up, man?
What up, man?
Yeah.
I'm his real uncle, y'all.
He was in town for Thanksgiving, so he dropped by so we could chop it up with y'all.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do you like I did some more,
Okay.
and you just take me from the top. Where were you born? Everything.
Oh God. Well, I was born in a beautiful town, Goldsboro, North Carolina. And it's funny because right before I got here, you won't believe what I was doing.
What's that?
My baby sister, lives in the house that my parents lived in,
Mm-hmm.
and she has every old VHS, and then it changed over to DVDs.
Yeah.
That my mom used to walk around with a camcorder,
Mm-hmm.
video on every performance, every rehearsal, all that.
Yeah.
So there was one particular video that we was all talking, and this one thing stuck out. My Uncle Jap, he was introducing us for, I think, our 18th anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
And he said something like, I think Tyrone was 7. And I heard that.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, stop it. What did he say? And we rewinded it, and he was telling the story pretty much of like how I became a part of the group.
Yeah.
And he was like, I was 7, and he said my dad was like, I need a guitar player.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, I'm gonna buy Ty a guitar and raise him up to be a guitar player.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? And I've heard the story, like they're like, he
Yeah.
prophesied over me, but to hear, my mom has a version.
Uh-huh.
My mom had a version of that story. Then to hear my dad's brother
Yeah.
tell his version, because he was a musician that my dad respected. That's what he really got my dad going. So when he told his, the part of it, the way he remembered it was my dad told him I was 7,
Mm-hmm.
he was gonna buy me a guitar and raise me up to play.
Mm.
And I remember, from my recollection, I was about 9,
Mm-hmm.
and I always wanted a guitar. Always taking my brother guitar. My brother, my brother James.
What kind of guitar did he have?
He had a PV Patriot, and I still have that guitar to this day.
Seriously?
I still got it at the house,
That's great.
and it still sounds great.
That's great.
Very clean. A lot of.
Yeah.
It's kind of high end, but
Yeah.
you shape the tone you in there.
Yeah, yeah.
But so just like just to answer your question, going back to the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
I remember I played my first concert I did one song.
Mm-hmm.
So I was literally singing background, something you probably familiar with.
Right.
That was my job. Hold the mic, sing the bottom, or whatever.
Yeah.
So my dad was like, I think it's time.
Mm.
I'm like, time for what? Time for you to play. I said, okay. So it was a song, God is Still in Charge, Willie Mays.
Yeah.
Pops was like, I'm going to do this to close the show. I said, he was like, so when I tell you, it's time, go get your guitar. So I think I had to be about 9.
Mm-hmm.
So I went over. I took forever, y'all. I'm just opening up the guitar case, and they just over there holding little notes, just waiting. I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this. I can't do this.
So you going slow on purpose?
I'm shook. I'm mortified. Like, yo, I gotta play it in front of these people. I'm not in the living room at home.
Yeah.
So what I did is I gathered myself and I went out, and then I stood right beside my dad.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad would like touch top of my head, and he was speaking, telling people, giving me confidence the whole time.
Yeah.
He was like, y'all remember I told y'all when his hands get big enough, he's gonna play the guitar?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody like, yeah, amen, amen. They didn't know what was about to happen though. So I started the song off. And so my dad, he said, little man. Now obviously I'm the little dude that did the guitar. So I start the song off. The place went crazy.
Yeah.
And everything lifted.
Yeah.
The minute I got that response from everybody, I was like, oh man, this is cold-blooded.
Yeah.
So, and I got the name Little Man. Of course, I'm not little now, but I probably carried that name maybe 7 or 8 years. But my introduction to music is really that simple. My family, I'm the youngest boy of 7, and everybody did something, and everybody was great.
Yeah.
So when it was time for me to come along, I was kind of excited because I didn't have nothing to do. I'm like, give me something to do. I want to play the guitar. I want to do something. I didn't really want to play the drums, even though I would get on the drums. I could kind of play everything.
Yeah.
But I wanted to play the guitar because I feel like I could be like great at the guitar, and we really needed a guitar.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's a quick little glimpse into my history. But it's funny because I literally just turned off videos.
Yeah. And how long were you playing with the family? Well, we still play with the family, but you know what I'm asking. How long did you play with the family before you transitioned into doing other stuff?
I played with the family. So if I said I started, well, let me keep it 100 with y'all. I played the tambourine at first. I was a tambourine player, not a real tambourine player. So I played the tambourine probably from 3 to 9. Well, 3 to maybe 7, 8. Then I started singing parts.
Yeah.
And then I went to the guitar. So I'll say 3 to like 21. I made a transition at 21. And I did some other stuff in between there, but I made a huge transition at 21.
And what was that transition?
That transition was I was working a full-time job at a spot, Best Distributing Company, and Ray Braswell Jr.
Shout out to Ray,
Ray,
gang.
my dude. He calls the office phone. That's the only way you can reach me. We didn't have cell phones, y'all. We're not old, but we didn't have cell phones. So they were like, Tyrone, you have a phone call from a Ray Braswell. So I know Junior because we used to do, when I was playing with the family, we would do gigs with Brother to Brother.
Yeah.
So I was like, see what this dude want. So I went in there and answered the phone. He's like, hey man, we're about to do a live recording with Keith Wonderboy Johnson at the River Church. I was like, okay, in Raleigh, Durham. He was like, man, I want to see if you want to play guitar. I was like, yeah. Back then, I didn't know no better.
Yeah.
I didn't know about no session. I just knew I'm playing.
Yeah.
So my mind, he was like, we're going to do some rehearsals and done. Can you make it this night, and this night? I said, I'll get off work. I'll be there. Long story short, the first rehearsal, I got in. We were doing our thing, and we were playing the song Thank You. So Keith was like, I did the first solo. I used to do the thing with Hezzy, that's enough. So I did the solo. He was like, wait a minute. Y'all run that back. Did another solo. Wait, y'all run that back. I'm like, he did like 4 or 5 times.
He must can't believe you can play this good.
He said, dude, I was waiting for you, 1, to mess up, 2, to play the same solo.
Thing twice, yeah.
I never played the same thing twice. So we took a break. We rehearsed maybe about 2 hours. We took a break. And he was like, yo, come here. So I went out. He had a little, I don't know if it was a napkin or a piece of paper or something, but he had about 15 dates wrote on it. He was like, yo, what I need you to do is look at these dates, and every one you can make, be here.
Wow.
Out of nowhere, and I'm just working. I'm not looking for opportunity. I'm not trying to be.
Right, you just playing the guitar for the session because that's what Ray called for.
That's what Ray called me to do. So what I started doing at that point, I did the session in, it was the collection video in Raleigh. And I took Keith up on what he asked. So I started doing dates, but what I was doing, I was working all week. I worked Monday through Friday. Some Fridays I got off early. Some Mondays I had to come in late. But my job understood it. So I think I rocked with Keith Wonderboy Johnson a year working a full-time job.
Sheesh.
I worked a full-time job and I had a family.
Yeah.
I was young, but I had a family, so I worked, got I got my coins up. I mean, I did it as long as I could.
Yeah.
It got to a point where I just couldn't do it anymore. I was like, my body was physically taking a hit. And when I
Yeah.
say taking a hit, I mean taking a hit. Like, you're talking about
Because now that's 7 days a week.
7 days every week. So get off Friday. Let's say I leave Friday. We leaving that night at 7 to do something on Saturday. I get off work usually at 5. I might get off like 3. We going to Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, whatever. So then Monday, there was some nights I remember being on the van and they would let me sleep.
Yeah.
I'd pull up at 5, go straight home, put my uniform on. I had to be clocked in by 7.
Sheesh.
So it was like,
And you did that for a year?
I did it for 12 months.
Sheesh.
Until I just couldn't do it anymore. And I got clarity that making that next move was the right move. And I just said, what the heck? I'm going to give it a try.
Yeah.
And I went full time.
Yeah.
And honestly, the best decision I ever made in my life. Like,
yeah.
doing what I was doing.
Because that was basically like the start of your professional career as a guitarist.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, the start of my, like, officially. You know, and we low key were, we didn't see it or know it, but we were perceived as professional but local. So we were like some of the best local talent.
Yeah.
So when it was time to transition over to that, it was easy. I understood rehearsing. I understood being punctual. I mean, I understood all of that. I understood what it was to be a pro because my dad taught us how to be a pro. But that's officially my first professional move I made. So.
And how long were you with Keith?
Man, I told somebody this the other day and they were in shock because it wasn't that long. I was with Keith about 3.5 years.
Oh, wow.
But it seems like I was with Keith. Everybody think I was with Keith like 5 or 10 years. I'm like, how old y'all think I am? You know what I'm saying? Like, I've done a few things in the industry, but we did so much in that short period of time.
Yes.
And Keith had that mentality. And God rest his soul. It's almost like the way he worked. It's almost like he knew he had a short period of time to get it done. 50 is not a lot of time. But he will be working, and I'm like, why are we look, we just put out the collection. Why are we literally working on Center Revival?
Yeah. And
then like Center Revival won't even, it was just heating up. He was coming with ideas for new season, the Verity joint.
Yeah.
I was like, what, dude, let's take a break, man. Let's ride the wave. It's almost like he knew I got to get this stuff out. And, that's my dude, man. I miss him. But, yeah, Keith was my guy, and he believed in me.
Yeah.
He believed in me on another level. Like, he even told me, your time here is short.
He was like, you see it.
Yeah, he was like, I'm just a stop. I'm going to give you this opportunity because I feel I'm supposed to. You won't be with me long. And I was like, whatever that means. And I didn't believe him.
Wow. Why not?
Because I couldn't see no further than what he was doing, because I was able to travel really, well, I never personally went out. He went out of the country, but I never went with him. But I've seen everywhere from being from North Carolina, from the East Coast, all the way to the West Coast and in between. I traveled that with Keith in that short period of time. So I'm like, I think, well, let me say this. I knew there was more. I didn't know what it looked like, what it felt like.
Right.
And definitely didn't know how to get there.
Right.
And I thought me getting there may have been with him. Like, we're going to see heights that a quartet group has never seen. But he kept saying, like, you're going to go so much higher than me. I couldn't put 2 and 2 together at the time.
Yeah.
But,
What's the biggest lesson you learned with him?
The biggest lesson I've learned with Keith, that's a great question. Well, one lesson is funny. I learned how to save money. Let me tell y'all something. This dude was one of the tightest jokers I've ever been in my life. And I became that. Like, I'm no, and
yes.
I don't play.
Yeah.
Like, when it comes to money, and I would be like, dude, let's just eat. Let's just go over here. He'd be like, look, man, you do this 4 days straight. How much you gonna spend? I'm like,
Yeah.
dang, bro, you right. So I just learned how to save money. But more than that, I remember one time we were at a truck stop, and it was me, Keith, and Ray. We went inside, and they had some business card holders. If you know, you know. Yeah. So I said, we were all looking at him, and Ray bought some. You know, he had the studio, and Keith had Wonder Spirit Production. You know, Keith was a businessman.
Yeah.
So I was like, so I got one. I took one. He was like, man, what you doing with that? I was like, doing the same thing y'all doing.
Yeah.
I'm about to do business. What you talking about?
Yeah.
So the business model that he showed me made me who I am today, because I never went in a situation lacking information. Like, what is this? What does it pay? How much time are you asking me? Like, I was on point from day one. Yeah. Like, I never got caught out there because I asked the hard questions. So I would say I'm serious about the money thing, though, y'all. Like, I learned to save money, but I also learned, just be business. Yeah. Because that dude, think what you want about him, that dude was business. Yeah. 1,000. So
yeah. What was your transition like when you left Keith?
Extremely hard.
Take us through it.
Okay. So when I left Keith, of course I have a family. Yeah. I'm the only one that's employed.
What made you decide that it was time to stop with Keith?
Because after a few years and seeing what that world had to offer, I said, okay, there's more. And I got to get to more. But let me tell you how I tricked myself. And maybe God tricked me. So what I'm thinking is, I quit. I keep working on my craft, but I can work in the meantime. Because at the time, I was filling in with Daryl McFadden every time we're off. Doc McKenzie in the highlights every time we're off. Even on the same show, I'm pulling double, sometimes triple duty. All these groups loved me. Yeah. So I said, once I come off the road for a time, if they ask me to play for them all the time while I'm on the road, surely they're going to want me to play while I'm off the road. Yeah. So things started getting tight and getting crazy. And I was like, man, hey, Daryl, talking about Daryl Henley. But where y'all at this weekend? We're such and such and such. We, oh, that's far out, so I'm good. Or we're straight. Yeah. So I'm like, DMD, what y'all doing? Oh, we got Showcase. Yeah. He rolling with us now. And he was rolling right before I left, but it was still a thing where I can always sit in. Yeah. So no opportunity was available. So I'm like, oh God, I don't have no way of making money right now, and these kids in here looking at me to make a way. So long story short, I started working at a church. It was called Christ in the Church in Goldsboro.
Yeah, shout out to Apostle Jacobs.
Pastor Jacobs, Pastor Dennis, Pastor Ravonda. Yeah. I was working at the church, and that was what it was. It's not like it was life-changing. So when I tell y'all, I'll give you this time frame, and then I'll come back and finish the story. I went through a 3.5 year, same amount of time I was with Keith, I went through a 3.5 year transition to really feel the break in my career. So during this time, I always kept faith, and I always knew it was more, it was better, and music was what I was supposed to be doing. So long story short, in that time, nothing's happening. Just playing at the church. I remember I went to a Bible study on a Wednesday morning, because I would go on Wednesday mornings. And Apostle Dennis was like, your name is in rooms right now, and you can't even fathom the things they're saying about you. I done been out the road a year and a half. I think everybody forgot about me.
Yeah.
So right after that, I got a phone call from Jonathan Dubose Jr. And Rick Watford. And they were like, hey, I think the session was offered to Johnny first. He couldn't do it. It was offered to Rick. They teamed up and was like, we can't do it. This dude need to do it.
So how did they learn about you, though?
That's good. So I met Rick on the road playing with Keith.
What?
Rick was playing with Georgia Mass Choir.
Oh.
Filling in with him, and I met Rick. And then Keith, we were doing some other stuff.
Yeah.
We were doing shows with Yolanda Adams, Fred Hammond, Donnie, Kurt Carr.
Yeah.
So we did a joint with Kurt Carr in Houston. Guess who on guitar?
Who that?
Rick Watford.
Yeah.
So I meet him. So now we kind of connecting. We don't really know each other, but we like each other.
Yeah.
And he like, man, I like you. And then I got to say this. Joey Wolfhawk, because I went too far. I went too fast. Joey Wolfhawk was a huge, huge pillar for my career because Joey Wolfhawk is a quartet dude.
Yeah.
So I was in Memphis, Tennessee at Bishop, what was that guy's name? G.E. Patterson?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we was at his church doing a show. Keith opened up for Donnie McClurkin. Joey was playing guitar with Donnie. We were in a restaurant, some Brazilian restaurant. I think when they cut all the meat off.
Yeah, they tell you when to stop.
Yeah. So we in that joint, we eating. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, shoot.
So you already know who Joey is.
I know Joey from every cause back then DVDs and videos were going crazy.
Yeah, he had the dreads.
Yeah. So Keith was like, man, what's going on? I said, man, that's Joey Wolfhawk over there, man. Keith was like, Joey who? I was like, Joey Wolfhawk. He was like, all right, did you holler at him? I was like, man, I ain't going over there. He was like, you ain't going over there, I'm going over there. Then he just got up. I'm like, this dude. He was like, hey, my guitar player, he's a fan of yours. He love you, man. So Joey was like, man, bring him over. So I went over. I'm like, man, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm just kind of starstruck, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I see this dude playing on everybody record. Fred, Yolanda, everybody.
Yeah.
So Joey was like, I want to keep in touch with you. Joey took my number. So we got a situation where it was a Bahamas date with Donnie McClurkin, and Joey couldn't do it. And he promised, he was like, I'm going to call you to do some stuff. Now, mind you, I'm with Keith at the time. When he called me to do this thing years later, I'm not with Keith.
Wow.
So this before the Johnny and Rick thing. So I went and did a date with Donnie McClurkin, and I met Dario Edgecombe,
Yes.
Justin Savage,
Yes.
Trent Phillips,
Yes.
Calvin Napper, Daryl Freeman, like all of these.
All in one band.
Oh, this is the Donnie band. This is the Donnie band. Crazy. So everybody I remember Donnie give me this solo on Hell Jesus, and everybody was like, "Yo, this kid can play." So everybody got my number.
Yeah.
So
because they all producers. That's the thing. Dario is a producer. Justin is a producer, and Trent is a producer.
Absolutely. So they all get my number. So, but the funny thing is, that call that I was telling you about, it came through a different avenue. That call came with the situation with Rick and Johnny and Maurice Rogers. And the producer was Kurt Carr.
Yeah.
For Bishop Paul S. Morton, Still Standing.
That's crazy.
That's the first real,
outside of quartet, the first live recording you did outside of quartet.
Outside. Wait a minute. Because I'm getting my dates mixed up. Bishop Morton. And somebody might have to Google this.
I don't get my phone. Google it.
But it's either Bishop Morton or Jonathan Nelson. My name is Victory.
But both of those is.
But one came from me meeting Justin, and the other one came. So either way, it's like, I'm trying to see which. I feel like Bishop Morton came first. I feel like Bishop Morton came first, and I'm gonna tell you. Yeah,
I think so too.
I think
so
it was
too,
Bishop
though.
Morton and then Jonathan. But
I'm gonna look it up.
I'm almost certain it was Bishop Morton because I was
Yeah.
so green and so shook. I kind of had an idea on the next record.
Yeah.
I kind of had an idea, but dude, why you looking at it?
We talking 2006. Still Standing was 2006.
Mm-hmm.
All right, hold on.
Yeah, 2006. Because I think we cut it in 05 and it came out in 06. This is crazy.
Yeah. Jonathan, My Name is Victory was released in 2008.
There you go. Well, I'm telling you, I run together for so many years. But I remember doing that record. And now that's another whole question, but that was one of the biggest lessons of my life.
What's that?
That record.
Yeah.
And
what did you learn?
I learned that to call yourself a pro, you got to be a pro.
Yeah.
Because these jokers, we did 3 days in Atlanta, and the last 4 days leading up to the record. I'm sorry.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh. Hold on. Excuse us. We're getting it.
Technical difficulties, y'all. Am I good?
Yeah.
Okay. So I learned, I sound better too. But I learned doing that record, like, yo, the first 3 days in Atlanta, the last 4 days in New Orleans, that's when Hurricane Katrina hit.
Yeah.
So we did the first 3 days, and I'm just doing the best I can, honestly.
And when you say days, I want to explain this because, like, some people come from the quartet world where they just, like, rehearse at 7 o'clock till 10. When you say day, what you mean?
Oh, when I say days, I'm talking about we might start at 9 to 10 a.m., and we may finish at 9 or 10 p.m. With a couple breaks in between. It's a different kind of day.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of day.
Yeah.
So when I say 3 days, I mean 3 days. We worked.
Yeah.
So that Monday, I remember Kurt, they all flew out to do a couple of dates and come back Monday. Maurice pulled me at the beginning of rehearsal. He was like, "Hey, man, you good?" I was like, "Yeah, man, I'm good, man." Now, I worked my butt off that weekend because I recorded everything.
Yeah.
Little mini disc players, for those that remember. So he was like, "You good?" I'm like, "Man, I'm good. What's up?" Man, me and Kurt, we had a meeting this weekend. And, we were kind of feeling you out the first few days. And, if you don't really kind of tighten up and really find your niche and bring something to the record, we're going to probably have to go another route. See, most people won't tell you these kind of stories.
Yeah.
But if you're a real one, you've been through this.
Yes.
And you dealt with it. You either sink or swim.
Yeah.
So when he told me that, I said, all right, I got you, Reese. He was like, all right, man. He didn't babysit me.
Yeah.
I went over there in that corner. I bumped my amp with about 2 or 3 dBs. I was like, they gonna hear me today, because I had a chance to prepare over the weekend too. I had the tapes, and all I got was smiles that whole Monday.
Yeah.
Tuesday, they adding stuff. I'm catching it. Wednesday, Thursday, we couldn't Friday. Long story short, the album was a success.
Yeah.
From that, the other guy said we could trust him. He could play a record, y'all.
Yeah.
And I've always had the mind of listening to parts.
Yeah.
And understanding parts. So I've always had the mind of a producer, but didn't know what a producer was.
Yeah.
So I did my thing, man, and from there, the floodgates opened literally, like to the point where I was cutting. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think I did a record with Dario and Alvin Darling. I think I did My Name is Victory the week before. One day off, straight into rehearsals with Dario and them to cut that. Alvin Darling, My Blessings on the Way. I was doing stuff like that, like 1 or 2 days off record. 1 or 2 days off record.
Yeah.
That's how my life went crazy.
Yeah.
And, financially, I'm like, I've been in the hole for 3.5 years.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, I'm winning.
So you finally out the hole. So there was no conscious decision to become a session player?
No.
It just,
I mean, it's almost like I was not forced into it like in a bad way.
But it just happened.
But it happened. It was like, you good at this.
Yeah.
So once I found out I was good at it, of course I like, okay, who is Paul Jackson Jr.,
Yeah.
who is Michael Landau, who is
Yeah.
Michael Thompson. I started looking at who's Larry Carlton.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the session cats. I ain't talking about the
So
solo guys.
you started. So once you realized you were good at it, you made the conscious effort to say, okay, I'm going to tackle becoming a session guitarist, and then you started studying.
I started studying session guitars.
Yeah.
Yep. And I also started studying more the guitarists, but I started studying producers too. Because I'm like, I can study these guys, but it's not going to teach me, how to play. So I would say, why does Quincy think this way? And I would hear situations where I'm like, wait a minute, that's Quincy Jones.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, that's Quincy Jones.
Yeah.
Wait, that's Quincy Jones, and I don't see any credits.
Yeah.
So
you could tell by just hearing it who
right.
it was.
Like cats, literally, like now that I work with, when I hear them, they send me a song, I'm like, I know where we going.
Yeah. So this is a good moment to speak to guitar players that want to be session players, but they only think about their guitar, or they don't know that it's important to think about the production as a whole.
Yeah, that's the only way you're gonna make it.
Yeah.
You gotta see the whole picture, because when any producer call you, it's about the big picture. It's never about you.
Yeah.
And that's what bothers me with a lot of today's players.
Yeah.
They play everything they know in one song.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's never gonna get you higher. It's gonna get you praised in your local area.
Yeah.
Man, he cold. He killing. He doing this. He doing that. Ain't
And
no
they never
real
gonna
producer.
hire you.
Ain't no real producer hitting you. I said, ain't no real producer hiring you. Y'all make sure y'all mark that. Ain't no real producer. Nah, ain't happening.
Yeah.
A real producer is not going to put their project on the line
Yeah.
to cater to your ego.
So how should guitarists think in that regard?
They should think more like being a piece to a complicated puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
So you got drums.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not always. Sometimes it might just be a song with a guitar and a vocalist.
Yeah.
But you got to think parts.
Mm-hmm.
My most important thing, melody.
Mm-hmm.
You got to think space.
Mm-hmm.
You got to think about the big picture of the song.
Mm-hmm.
Every guitar player, if you do that, trust me,
Yeah.
you will work.
Yeah.
I promise y'all.
What about tone?
Oh man, now
'Cause that's-
now tone. That's my thing. Now you can play everything amazing. If that tone ain't sweet, you getting X from the track. Look, ask me how I know.
How you know?
It didn't happen. See, I ain't too proud to tell you.
Yeah.
Like going back to them early records, I'm like, yeah, man, I played on such and such and such. That joint come out, I'm like. Then I might hear, Bing. I'm like, so I'm on the track. I just heard the little beat I played. But these jokers, I can't hear myself.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is like sometimes like on Facebook, I see guitarists. I see like they'll write statuses where they're frustrated because their guitar has been buried in the mix. I see that all the time.
And you may tell you why?
Why?
Two things I've been taught, and they work for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, you got to have the tone, but you got to play a part the song can't move without that part.
Exactly.
If you play a song and you add a part, you create a part. You thinking like a producer. You have to create now.
Yeah.
Even if you go in the session and the producer is kind of like, I want this, I want this, I want that. That doesn't mean you don't create.
Yeah.
They want you to be creative.
Yeah.
So you say, okay, I got to create something that when I'm done, this song will never be the same. And they can't turn you down.
Yeah, they can't turn you down. So
They gotta turn you up.
so guitarists should make a more substantial contribution to the production if they want to be heard.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you don't look to be heard. You won't be heard.
Yeah.
You can play all that foolish, not on no real records.
Yeah.
you might be heard on some old junk around the way, but no.
Good question. My wife is back there. She just texted me a question to ask you.
Uh-oh.
She said, how can they work on being more tasteful?
Well, the first thing I'll say is go back, and everybody should do this in music, no, regardless of what you play. But go back and listen to the ones that did it before you that was successful, right? So I named, how many names? 4 names? I named Paul Jackson, I believe, Michael Landau, Michael Thompson, Larry Carlton, but you got Robin Ford. These are guys that was playing every record from Barbra Streisand to Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Now, why is Paul Jackson on all these records and why is he shining?
Absolutely.
That's the question.
That's the question you should ask.
And then you go listen to the records and find out the answer.
Yeah.
So you're going to find a lot of stuff is going to begin, it's going to start out cliche-ish. But you're going to find your niche and say, oh, okay, I can say the same thing, but say it my way.
Yeah.
And then it's soulful. Like it answers the question and the taste. But I say you got to go back and study who was before you, if that makes sense. I'm big on that. I still do it to this day to get inspired. You know how I do.
Yep.
When I got to get inspired, I'm like, man, let me go holler at the OGs.
Yeah.
And a lot of them I can call.
Yeah.
But I'd rather go back and do it the old school way and be like, man, let me put this record on from 84.
Yeah.
And I'm inspired.
Yeah. So I want to take a transition real quick. Because you've always been good with finances. As a full-time session player and musician, how do you maintain financially?
Well, you have to, number one, be responsible. You have to be a good steward of your money. So I ran into a lot of people over the years, big paydays, Jordans. Big paydays, Louis. Big paydays, whatever, you name it.
Yeah.
They don't manage their money. They're not good stewards of their money. Those paydays will not continue to come. And I'm talking touring now. Or if I'm doing a stint where I'm doing a bunch of sessions, then I do a 3-month tour. That's cool. They move like a lot. I'm saying people that I've actually seen. They move like that's 12 months a year. That's like every month, every week. So the thing I've learned with financing is you treat it like you don't have any money, right? At your highest times, you treat it like you did at your lowest times. I'm not saying don't treat yourself. Trust me, I'm not saying that because I'm not saying that. But you treat yourself. I'm gonna treat myself. It's funny because you heard what I was talking about yesterday. I'm gonna treat myself next summer. With something nice.
Yeah.
And I'm excited. But you gotta treat yourself, but you gotta act as if you're not doing this tomorrow. So and when I say that, I don't mean just let the money sit, but I mean put the money somewhere. Like invest. One thing I'm big on at this point in my life is like real estate. So I don't care if it's a piece of land, like I don't care if it's an acre of land in a trailer park. I don't care if it's an old house up the street from where you live. If it's a deal and you got the money, look into it. I ain't saying just go buy it now. Like, do your research, do your study, but put your money somewhere where you can get a return on your investment.
Jordans ain't going. That's a liability off the rip.
And let me tell you this. Even with that, I would say, because I know somebody that's done this. They bought Jordans and made it. They almost worked Jordans. They didn't wear them, but they did it almost like you flipping houses.
They bought the Jordans and then
they would buy the Jordans and just sell them up. I'm just saying, like it's ways. I'm sorry. It's ways to. It's more than one way to skin a cat. So if you in the shoe like that, you can't be wearing them. You're wearing them all out and got gum all on the bottom of them. But you buy the joints. I've seen people resell them.
Yeah.
At a much higher rate. To me, hustle.
So what? Another thing that I'm hearing is, it's okay to have multiple streams of income.
It's the only way. If you ask me.
Yeah.
If you ask me, when I And I can't remember who told me this. I may have been a guy Billy Carson or somebody I listened to.
Mm-hmm.
They were saying years ago they were in the real estate real heavy,
Mm-hmm.
and it folded,
Mm.
and they put all their eggs in that basket, like real estate. But he was talented enough to write books. He even did music.
Yeah.
But when he wouldn't put into the music, he wouldn't put into any other thing. And when that folded, he lost it.
Mm-hmm.
He lost it. So when he was so adamant about not putting all his eggs in one basket, something in me clicked.
Mm.
And when I say that, I mean multiple streams of income. Now let me tell you, streams of income within. If you're a musician, let's say you're doing a church, you're doing sessions, you're doing touring, you're writing songs, you're doing all of that. To me, that's dope. And but also to me, I see that as one basket when most people don't.
Mm.
Because I'm like, God forbid if I hurt my hand today.
That's all of that stops.
All of that's one basket to me.
Yeah.
But if I'm like, oh, I got this over here, or I got this property making money for me, guess what? I'm still gonna live, and now I'm recovered and I'm back at it.
Yeah.
So when I say one basket, I mean multiple streams. I kind of say if you're doing music, there's
anything concerning music is one basket.
To me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Other people might see it different, but to me, that's one basket because, like I said, if something went wrong and you couldn't create a beat for 2 weeks or 2 months, that basket is So I don't know, man. Like a lot of other people, I see some people that I meet on a regular, and they say, I'm playing at a church, one stream or one basket. I'm playing on the road with this artist. So some people look at it like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I say music in a whole to me is a basket.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to get out of that and do some other things. But of course I know what my bread and butter is. I'm not ridiculous. I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
And I know what I love to do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I want to just be set up to. And then guess what, man?
What's that?
Sometimes we get tired.
Yeah.
Sometimes we get tired of folk.
Yeah.
We get tired of situations. And if I'm like, I'm throwing y'all the deuces for 2 months.
Yeah.
I'll be back. I don't die.
Yeah. So that's a good segue. How do you deal with the mental and emotional stress of like the ups and downs? Because it's customer service too.
Man.
And sometimes the
customers ain't sweet. Customers come in there talking about they want tile and you offer them tile, and then they say, no, they want laminate. But you said you want tile, man. But you cutting the food. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
how do you deal with that mental and emotional, just like ups and downs?
Man, it's a lot differently now than I used to. I used to put a lot of attention and effort into foolishness.
Yeah.
Now I take it a grain of salt. Look,
Yeah.
this is this is me. This is not advice for everybody. I'm talking about where I am.
Yeah.
If I want to do a certain thing and it's not up to a certain standard, then I'm just out.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I mean, now it won't always like that. So don't y'all be out there trying to don't do it and then be blaming me.
Right.
I'm telling you where I am.
Yeah.
But it's hard to deal with, man. You don't know whether to, because you don't want to ruin your reputation.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say that, I'm talking about snapping, being out of character.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to do all that. So, I got a motto. I mean, it's so simple. Everybody says it, but I live by this now in every aspect of my life. One day at a time.
Yes, absolutely.
One day at a time is what I live by.
Yeah.
And I'm going to live by that the rest of my life. Like, I'm trying to get back in shape.
Yeah.
Some days I'm killing it. Some days I'm off eating the wrong stuff. But, I adapted this another motto, if you lose the battle, win the war. Losing the battle doesn't mean that you lost the war. You only lose the war when you quit. So I like that whole, you lost the battle, cool. Get up tomorrow and fight.
Fight again, yeah.
Because you just won 10.
Yes,
So
man.
you lost 1, now it's over? You just won 10 joints, man.
Yes.
Come on.
And I think sometimes we don't feel like we're successful if we don't have a perfect record.
100. 100. And honestly, the most successful people that I've met or heard about or read about honestly has one of the worst records.
Right.
It's like if you look at it, what we would call L's,
Yeah.
you would be like, what in the world? How?
Yeah.
But it's because that motto,
Mm-hmm.
you lose the battle, that's cool.
Yeah.
You can still win the war.
Absolutely.
You just got to show up and fight.
Absolutely.
I live by that one day at a time.
Yeah.
What if I mess up today? We were talking to, the point of how do I deal with this stuff?
Mm-hmm.
One day at a time.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all got me yesterday. You won't get me tomorrow.
Yeah.
You frustrated me today.
Yeah.
You won't frustrate me tomorrow.
Yeah.
That didn't work out today. It's going to work out tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And I just do that every single day, And I find things in my life working out better.
Yeah.
My life is getting smoother regardless of what happens.
Yeah.
One day at a time.
That's right.
And I say it to myself every day.
Yeah.
You got to say this thing, man. You got to speak to the universe. That's one thing I'm learning.
Yeah.
I've been saying stuff intentionally now.
Yeah.
I ain't talking about just to be talking.
Yeah.
Intentionally.
Yeah.
And everything I've been saying has been coming to pass.
Yeah.
I got witnesses in the room.
Yeah.
I got witnesses in the room. Like if I say it with conviction and intention.
Yeah, man.
I get what I asked for.
Yeah. So maybe that's another thing. Like maybe sometimes we get stuck in those ruts because like we're not really taking charge of what we can control, and we're not speaking what we believe we should have.
I'm gonna tell you, and one of the biggest problems,
Mm-hmm.
you blame everything on God.
Mm.
I learned this recently.
Mm.
God was like, "Why are you blaming me for something that I have no control over?"
Yeah.
What do you mean you don't have no control? You're God. Okay, I'll give you a piece of land. I'm not coming to cut the grass.
Yeah, man. And we blaming God for the grass being high.
Yeah. And he said, but I gave you the land and I gave you the lawnmower. You got to go cut the grass. So it's like sometimes we're like, God, why not now? Or why not me? And he's saying, you're supposed to do this thing that you asked me about 2 years ago.
Mm.
You just decided not to get up, whether that's fear, whether that's doubt,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's you just don't believe in yourself. But we got to stop blaming God for stuff that he's already given us the victory over.
Yes, sir.
We already win.
Yes, sir.
Why are we blaming it for something, for a battle we already?
Yeah.
This thing is over if we just step out, walk in this thing, and do it.
So how in the world did you get to the place where you like, okay, God, I'm going to take accountability for my own actions and not put it on you? What was that? What, if you can talk about it, what was the situation that made you like be like, you know what, I got to flip how I'm thinking about it?
Man, it wasn't just one situation. It was me just, I took it probably about a week and just kind of meditated. And I asked myself, why wasn't I doing certain things at a certain point? And it flat out it was plain as day. It's you. I try to blame everybody.
Yeah.
You try to blame wife, kids situations.
Yeah.
The people you're working with, whoever might be the MD. You want to blame everybody.
Yeah.
It just kind of hit me like, it's almost like God was like, I'm I have a perfect record. I'm that guy. You all make me look small, like I'm not capable, like I'm a liar, like I'm not fair, because y'all lazy, because y'all scared, because y'all doubting. So you know the old scripture. God didn't give the spirit of fear, but of love, power, and sound mind. It's like, why are we walking in fear daily, but blaming God as if he's doing something wrong.
Yeah.
It's not, listen, man, you can accomplish anything you want to accomplish. Anything you speak, if you want it, it can be yours. God is not going to block it. I hear people say this a lot of times too. You know, they'll say, well, you know, thank God he blocked a certain situation. Or, man, when I look back at my life at the times I said that, my life, I don't care. I mean, I care about y'all, but I can't speak for y'all.
Yeah.
My life, it was something I did.
That's the truth.
But
it seems more
it sounds better.
Yes, it's like that. It feels better to say God didn't want me to have it.
Yeah.
Versus I was scared and I didn't go get it.
Yes. That's what it be. But God, it wasn't my time. I wasn't ready for it. Well, obviously you weren't ready for it or you would have did it.
Right.
So,
but that's not on God.
That's not on God. So stop. Don't say God no more. That's all I'm saying. Stop talking about God like God did not do that thing.
Yeah.
You did that.
Yeah.
Be responsible.
Yeah.
And when I feel, you know, a lot of times we walk around and we play the God card, and I ain't trying to get deep into this.
No, you good. Go ahead.
But it's like we use God as if he like nothing.
Yeah.
Well, man, I'm a wild out today, and I'm gonna affect my whole family. I'm gonna ask for forgiveness tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then everybody is supposed
like
to
he just like a genie or something.
Like he a genie, like he a toy.
Yeah.
Everybody got to stop playing. If you gonna talk about God, put him in the right equation, and then accept responsibility for what you do or don't do.
Yeah, man.
That's all I'm saying. I'm tired of hearing all these people preaching and talking about God this and God didn't do it and God. No, you lazy. You sorry. You afraid. Guess why I know? I've been there. Guess how I know? I've been there. I've done that.
Me too, man.
I just want everybody to be more accountable. That's what I'm saying.
That's the word.
Accountability.
That's the word.
Accountability. If you make a mistake, fix it like a man or like a woman.
Yeah.
If you were scared to do something, just say I was scared.
I was scared.
Or don't say it at all. That's my biggest thing. If you know you ain't sweet, throw up the deuces and just shut up.
Right.
I had a little thing I posted the other day. Just shut up. I'm tired of y'all. Y'all keep talking about, man, you know, God got something in store for me. Of course, I'm saying this and not trying to be arrogant. Of course God got something in store for me. He already promised me everything I can ever imagine. So guess who got to be the king and go out and get it?
Yeah, man.
I got to be the one to go do it. I gotta have the faith. I gotta do my thing. I gotta make it do what it do. Yeah. Cannot continue to blame God for my mishaps.
Yeah, man.
It is weak.
And that's in music and that's in life, period. Just like taking accountability, because we all have hopes, dreams, and desires. We all have aspirations. Mm-hmm. And like you said, when it's hard to achieve, when it's scary to achieve, we go to mentioning God, blocking it, or it not being our time, instead of just putting in the work to overcome whatever the fear is or whatever the anxiety is. It's our responsibility to put in the work.
Yes.
To 100%. Become better people, to get the things that we desire.
Everybody that you would read about or meet in life that's successful, they've never blamed God for anything that they did not do. I'm telling you, and I know some very wealthy people in my life. I'm talking about multi-millionaires. Yes, I know. Sir. They have. I've never. One guy I've been rocking with since 2012 when I moved to Nashville. I met him. He turned me on. Phenomenal cat. My guy Joe. I've never heard him. I've seen him have mishaps in businesses. Mm-hmm. You know, and this ain't no secret. This is stuff everybody knows. I've seen things not work out. But I also just saw him open up another whole business in Memphis. I just saw them team with the Memphis Grizzlies. Like, I just seen things happen, and I've never heard him complain one time saying something he didn't do was because of God.
Wow.
Not one time.
Yeah.
And there's other people that I know, they never, it's always I. Yeah. Man, I didn't do this. I should have did that. I had a gut feeling. Yeah. Y'all better start listening to them guts. Right. You better start listening. I'm telling you, that's the thing I'm doing now. and things in my career are changing drastically.
Mm-hmm.
Like the stuff I put out there, I'm like, okay, now that I'm learning how this works, I got to be careful.
Yeah.
Because now so much happening, I'm like, wait a minute, I got to breathe.
Yeah.
I was like, no days off. I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, I got that booking on a Tuesday night.
Yeah.
I got this session on a Thursday night. I got this booking on the following Wednesday to fly out and do this. It's like so much is happening because I'm understanding how to speak and how to go get it.
Yeah.
But what I'm going to do now, and I guess what I could do?
What's that?
I could get overwhelmed or I could be fearful and start turning this stuff away. And then another 6 months from now say, Lord, why is my life so dry?
Jeez.
Why ain't nothing happening? Do you remember when I just flooded you?
Turned it all down.
And you just turned it down and was like, man, or I'll be ready. Give me a minute. I'll be back. Look, you literally just spoke out what you want. I gave you the exact thing.
Yeah.
And now and then you want me. You tell me you don't want it by not taking it.
Yeah.
Then you ask me 6 months later why ain't nothing happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ain't that crazy?
It is, but it's true because I'm just thinking about myself, just like saying no to stuff because of anxiety and fear, and then when there's no work, you like looking at God like,
right,
why there's no work.
And let me tell you something.
There was work, but
right.
So now, because what happens is after you like, especially in music, the music community is small. So after you say no to enough people, they gonna tell everybody else you saying no.
Ain't no need to even hit him up. Ain't no need work. Don't need holler at him. Been there, done that. I just thank God for that thing going around full circle. But I've been there, done that.
Yes, man.
Hey, man, he
don't even call him. He gonna say no.
He too busy, man. What too busy doing? I don't know. I just know he say no every time I call. You know, and even strategically with that, it's like that don't mean you say yes to everything.
Facts.
But at the same time, I mean, everything ain't a no. All 10 joints? All 10 joints was no, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Man, stop.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah. So, how do you know when to say no and when to say yes?
But one thing I just said, the gut.
Yeah.
You got to listen to that thing. 'Cause that thing, look, I'm going to say this real quick, and I'm going to get back to that. Most situational opportunities that you have the most fear about are the easiest things you'll ever walk into.
I just told one of my friends that.
It's the easiest joints. And guess how I know? Because yeah. I'm more scared of this one than I was the other ones. Oh, man, this is one of the most amazing experiences I ever had.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, what about this? You scared, for instance, you got an opportunity. Let's say it's 10 songs and the song's hard and you scared you ain't gonna nail them. Mm-hmm. And then you get to the show and they do 3 of them.
Right. Oh my God. Always. It never fails. It never fails, man. Like, man, I've learned balance over the years. Yeah. Like when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Like just approaching the show from intro to outro, right?
Yeah.
Treat it all with love.
Yeah.
And don't sweat. Right. Do the best you can. Learn everything you can. Now don't cheat it.
Yeah.
Don't watch Netflix for 3 days and then Thursday you trying to get sweet for Saturday.
Yeah.
No, every day you approach that joint like you about to play for Quincy Jones and let it do what it do. Most of the time it's like you said, you gonna go in there, they gonna hit 2 balls and something that you used to play when you were 10. They gonna throw a curveball and you like, oh, that song?
Yes.
Oh, I've been playing that since I was 10. A flat? Oh, let's do it.
Yes. And we always hear the term, God won't put more on you than you can bear. So anytime there's an opportunity that you feel is overwhelming, God has already set it up where you can handle it. You just have to believe that and just do it.
You just have to believe it and do it. Honestly, man, there's nothing. And if it's something that's too overwhelming, your gut will tell you. There have been things I've been like, absolutely not. But I didn't have anxiety. I didn't wrestle with it. I was like, I'm not doing that for that. Right. And I'm just on to the next thing. I don't have to wrestle about it, pray about it. I'm like, what am I praying for 4 days? Right. I know I don't want to do it. And if the situation and circumstances don't change, I won't do it. Yeah. Oh, and a message to everybody out there watching. Uh-huh. If you in a position, I don't care if you're an MD, a producer, whatever you do, help me. I'm going to help somebody right here. y'all help me help these people. If you call me, my nephew, or anybody else in this world of music, just call and say what it is.
Yeah.
This is something that's been on my mind all week, and I'm gonna get it off right
perfect.
here. Call and say, hey, I want you to play a show. The show pays this. It's 5 songs. It's 1 rehearsal on Wednesday the 14th. The rehearsal pays XYZ. Can you do it? Don't hit me. Hey, man, you available on the 15th? For what? I might be available, but I might not. So you hit me, man, you available? I'm like, for what? And I tell people, it depends on what you got going on. I'm just at that place in my life where I've done it so many times, I'm over it.
Yeah.
So that's a nugget that I hope somebody catch.
Yes.
When you call, just say,
yeah.
I got blank, blank, blank. I got 3 songs for you to cut. Deadline, I really need them back by next Monday. Man, I can do it or I can't.
That's right.
But don't hit me with I'm like, when is it? How much does it pay?
Yeah,
is there a rehearsal?
You shouldn't have to ask those questions.
You shouldn't have to ask that. And we got to stop that. We're going on 2023, and it better not happen, not to me this year. I'm going to put you on Facebook if you do it to me this year. I'm going to tweet about you. Put you on my Instagram story. Man, this joker just hit me. He must didn't watch the Roger and Shad podcast. I told this joker, don't do this. Don't come at me. Yeah. Tell me what it is. I'm easy to get along with. I just want to know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I don't want to ask 50 11 questions before I get to the point.
Yeah.
What up? What is it? I mean, and that's really like when I ask somebody to do something for me, I tell them straight up, man. I send a message. Hey, man, I need you for this date. It's looking like it's a 45 to 60 minute show. That'll probably equal about X amount of songs. This to pay. This is your lodging situation. You will fly in. This, like, I'm just gonna tell you. Yeah. I'm gonna write that paragraph, and then you just say, "Man, I'm good for it," or "I can't." Yeah. We good. Yeah. On to the next person. Yeah. But
I want to talk about that real quick because I know I've dealt with this.
Okay.
Saying no, and then just being okay about it.
Boy.
Because I used to be in situations where I know I should say no, and I do one or two things, which are both wrong. I either say yes.
Oh, that's the boy.
And know I should have said no, or I say no, but then feel bad about it.
Look, when we were doing on YouTube, we used to do this thing called Motivation Monday. And Shar did this video one time. It was called The Power of Saying No. And that video, it shook me up. You know what I'm saying? Because I got the video and I was watching. I was going to edit it or whatever. And it was going back to like, I think she was speaking about like Rosa Parks or somebody. You know, get out this chair or whatever. You're supposed to be back of the bus. No. And when she said it, then I guarantee when she said it, no, it was just, I ain't ready. I ain't about to jump up and slap you. I'm not scared. I'm not changing my mind. It's a no. Yeah. It's a no. And that one no sparked civil rights, all that stuff. We know what happened after that. But it's honestly like a power. It's almost like a superpower. Yes. And being able to say no and not sweat it. Yes, man. It's like no is I just had to say no to some stuff that was coming this week because of my plans I made with my family. And I used to do stuff like that. Like, I have a vacation planned. Yeah. Everybody looking forward to it. And I'd be like, well, y'all, we ain't gonna be able to go, or we gonna be able to go for 2 days. And they'd be like, well, what happened? Well, I got a call to do such and such. And I was almost scared to say no. Yes, man. You know, even though I knew that. Now, don't get me wrong. There's sometimes a situation that come, your family will say, hey, you do that. That's going to change our life. Yes. But some of the stuff be the smallest little stuff, man. You mad. Family disappointed in you. Yeah. Man, I'd just be like, hey, man, I'm sorry, man. Vacation starts on the 20th.
That's right. And the crazy thing about it is, in situations like that, when a person really wants you to do something, 9 times out of 10, they'll wait.
Dude, I'm in that boat right now. Like, we were out on tour. I got hit up to do so much. Yeah. And I was just like, man, you know, I could do this. I could do that. Bro, hold on. I know you about to wrap this too. Just look, we're gonna put it in the bag and it's gonna be ready for you when you're done.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of people I want to work with anyway, because they understand what's what. They respect you.
Mm-hmm.
Man, the rest, man, I'm just not.
Yeah.
Jokers that's selfish.
Yeah.
I really don't want no parts of you anyway.
Yeah.
And if you mad at me because I can't do something, I'm good.
Yeah.
Look, you
That's
can't.
real.
You ain't gonna please everybody,
That's real.
and it ain't meant for you to work with everybody. Because if that was the case, I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, that's real.
No, there's power in saying no.
Mm-hmm.
Power, man. Like, and it's a. I can't think of the word I was trying to think of. Not a security. It's just a power. I'm gonna just say it like it's a strength that comes behind saying no, but saying it with confidence that you're not gonna regret it tomorrow.
Exactly right.
So don't you shouldn't, and you really. I'm gonna tell you something else too while we on this subject.
What's that?
Just feeling pressure to give somebody a response right away. I don't do that anymore either. I'm like, hey man, give me a couple of days to think about it.
Yeah.
Well, man, ain't got a couple of days. Well, no.
Yes.
I ain't the one. You just got your answer. Thank you. You made that so easy. You made that so easy because I really was considering it, but you just showed me that I shouldn't even be considering it. So thank you. I move on.
Yeah.
Give me if I need a day or two.
Mm-hmm.
We used to have a rule, a 48-hour rule.
Mm-hmm.
When it's something big, you know, that 24 hours gone, the hype is gonna be dead. Then that second 24 hours, you really gonna put everything into perspective. The money, the time, what you're gonna lose doing it, you know, during that time. This is good for me, or it's bad for me.
Cause that quick, dang, I'm thinking about stuff like that quick. Yes. Will send you down.
It's never, even if it's something you're supposed to do, it's just not gonna feel right.
Yeah. Cause
like, let me think about it. You're calling me for something. Give me a chance to process it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and you should want me to process it.
Absolutely.
You should want me all in on your project.
Mm-hmm.
If I say, Jamal, I really need you to do this.
Mm-hmm.
I really need you to, I want to know. And if you like, man, yeah, and then you really ain't all in, I'm kind of like, yo, what's going on?
Yes, because you're going to be expecting me to give 100% because I said yes.
Because you said yes.
But I feel funny, so I can only give you 60.
And it's not because you're trying to be a jerk. It's because you gave me a premature answer.
Right.
But another day, you might say, this could be dope and it could be a good opportunity for me. Mm-hmm. I'm all in.
Or I could do this, but I can't do that.
Now that's clutch. Because you're right. Sometimes they say, this is what I want you to do. And you can say, well, for that, this is what I'm willing to do.
Yes.
Now there's no expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there are expectations, but it's plain and simple.
Yes.
It's cut and dry. So
absolutely.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah. You had one more question you wanted me to ask. She wanted me to ask you about being a producer as a guitarist.
Mm-hmm.
Like, number one, is there a such thing as that?
Absolutely.
Because I know for most people think that you can only be a producer if you are a keyboard player.
Right, that's true.
Or if you're a beat maker.
Or if you're a beat maker or a keyboard player. That's usually the two.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely being a producer as a guitar player. I mean, let's be real. You could be a producer and be a tambourine player. If I'm honest.
Yes.
I mean, if you can galvanize a group of men or women and paint your vision for a particular goal on a particular song, you're producing. Like, I mean, you don't have to touch an instrument to produce. That's one of my goals. Yeah. One of my goals is to actually produce. I mean, I might tinker to get some points across, but I might not be on the final record. Yeah. I might pull some younger cats that I really like to hear play. Mm-hmm. And they might play something that I could easily play. Yeah. But just the joy in seeing something come together and I'm kind of orchestrating it. Yeah. So a producer, is an orchestrator. It's like I said, it's not easy to gather people, take a vision from an artist, then apply your vision. Y'all agree. Yeah. And then it comes out and it's magic. Yeah. That's not easy.
Right. So when I hear you talk, I'm hearing that it's really not being a producer is more of a state of mind
Absolutely.
and like the way you're wired and built more than it is what you play with your hands.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's more about the way you think.
Yeah.
You know, and I heard I can't remember the guitar player one time. He had said he was more of a guitar thinker than a guitar player. And I kind of adapted that.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because when I record, I'm always in a production mode. I'm always thinking about what else may be added.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, I don't hear organ. That's why as a guitar player, I always, if I could, I would like vocals. Because I know I could be the main part, playing the chords, playing, I could play melody. I could be icing all over the record. But I can't be icing, if I don't understand the foundation of the cake.
Right. Then there's already icing on it. You about to put
and I'm put some old chocolate over. I'm gonna put some pineapples on the German chocolate cake. That's like, man, this is whack. What are you doing? So yeah, it's very important to just understand and to answer the question. Yeah, as a guitar player, I became a producer honestly before I even knew it.
Yeah.
I was doing what I thought was natural, but the bigger people I got around was like, man, you producing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, elaborate. What you talking about? No, the way you're thinking and the way that you're building, like you're almost like doing my job. But I love it, and I'll pay you anything. You make my job easy. I don't have to babysit you. So yeah, but you can be a tambourine player.
Yeah.
You can play nothing.
Yeah.
And as long as you can galvanize troops and get this outcome to be what you and the said artist wanted to be, you producing.
So check this out. What if we take that idea out of music, just at the crib?
Okay.
With your family, with your children.
Yeah.
It sounds to me like it's the same role as a husband and a father.
It is. Because you're supposed to set the stage. You're supposed to have the vision for your family, and that's not a bad thing for, some modern women today. No shade, but if there's not a vision, if somebody doesn't have a vision for the family, for the home, I mean, y'all really just running in circles. Y'all kind of the little hamster wheel, just running around going nowhere fast. But if you got somebody that has the vision, then they're able to give, son, daughter, wife, co-worker, everything about your life, decisions. Okay, we got this decision with this car. Well, what are we gonna do about it? Well, okay, give me the song, for lack of a better word. Let me see what I got. Yeah. Okay, this situation needs this. This situation needs that. You know what? We're not gonna buy this time. We're gonna lease. Yeah. Why are you gonna lease? Well, because I got a plan. We're not gonna go over miles. This and that. It could be a business purchase. Like you could just start going off. Same way you would build a song. Like you might hear a song and it's just kind of regular, and all of a sudden it's a reggae beat. Yeah. Or all of a sudden it's a salsa joint. It's like, yo, how did it get there? Because a producer had a vision, and he or she took the joint and said, what's best for this situation? Yeah. So that's a good analogy though. Yeah. To think about it like that and break it down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely, man.
And I think the biggest thing that I'm taking from this is just taking control of what you can control. Taking accountability for your actions. And like really taking your role serious, whether you're a father, a husband, a guitar player, a music producer, a keyboard player, a singer. There comes a time in your life where you have to take accountability for your actions and have a vision for your life. Therefore, you won't blame stuff on God. Right. You won't blame stuff on what other people should have. Exactly. What other people should have did, what you think they should have did, what you think they owe you. Right. All of those types of things.
Accountability, man.
Yeah, man.
That's I think that's the biggest word people should take away from this.
Yeah.
Accountability, and that's self.
Yeah.
You can't take accountability for your wife or your friends, or you have to take accountability for yourself and hold yourself responsible.
Yeah, man.
Blame yourself. How about that?
If you gonna blame somebody.
Blame somebody if you gotta do that, because some people just gotta blame somebody. Blame your daggone self. Look in the mirror and say, "Dang,
yeah,
I messed up," and that's how I've been living lately.
Mm-hmm.
I've been literally saying, "Oh God, I jacked up."
Yeah, man.
And then it's like, let me fix it.
Absolutely.
Home,
Yeah.
smooth.
Yeah.
Everything better. Business ventures better. 'Cause I'm taking accountability. And I only want to rock with people that take accountability. Because now I don't have the patience for. Because if I'm doing it for myself, you got to do it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Accountability, y'all.
Yeah. This been real, man.
It's been real, man.
Hey, I love you, man.
I love you too, boy.
Hey, so before
I've
we
been
leave,
waiting on this.
Yeah. So before we leave, where can they follow you at? Because I want you to tell them about the YouTube channel and all that.
Yeah. So we have a YouTube channel. It's Team Jackson.
Gang.
Yeah, Team Jackson. That's our joint. It's me, Shar, and the family. We kind of revamping some stuff, but we about to come back with some stuff that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be more broader. It's gonna feature more of me and Shar versus the kids. But that's youtube.com/C/Team Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
My social media is that's Team Jackson. Everything is Team Jackson, and then my personal stuff is Ty Jackson Guitar.
Mm-hmm.
So you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
Mm-hmm. It's
just Ty Jackson Guitar.
So also, if people wanted to hire you, how do they get in touch with you?
You can. Well, this email address is long, but I'm gonna give y'all my email address because
we'll put it on the screen.
Yeah, because a lot of y'all jokers, ain't got my phone number. But it's strumming the axe for life at yahoo.com. So that's STRUMMINDAAXE, the number 4, life LIFE at yahoo.com.
Perfect.
And everybody, a lot of people just DM me, honestly.
Yeah.
Just DM me if you don't got, if you ain't got my number. And I give everybody my number. I'm just playing. But I really do. Like if you halfway cool, like especially with technology now, you can just block somebody.
Facts.
They wild.
Facts.
But so just DM me or hit me up. Just shoot me an email.
All right, y'all.
And we'll link.
All right, cool. It's been real.
Peace. Y'all.
I'm Rajay.
I'm shy.